Hey, I'm Ashley. We're at the Big Shanty Festival in Kennesaw today, and we're gonna go check out some of our local vendors. With Brittany and John today. We are with Mr. and Miss Woodshop. Can you all tell me just when you began overall?
While we were renovating, we had all these tools. We're like, what do we do with these tools? We're just collecting dust. So we just came up with this idea, like, hey, why don't we just start making some things for like friends and family and see if this is a thing that we want to continue to do.
Okay, so like what kind of products did you kind of start with in the beginning? I know you have a lot of various items now here.
We started off primarily with valet trays and some of these like charcuterie boards, those type of items, as well as some of the cutting boards that you see here.
Okay, and just like what have y'all now been most inspired by, or what do customers really enjoy?
Yeah, I think most people really start to recognize us for our epoxy work. It allows us to bring these two pieces that would normally be garbage and kind of give them a form and function that can actually be really elegant, really beautiful, and ultimately statement pieces for somebody's home.
So what type of woods do you primarily work with, and what do you find just the easiest overall to use with your products?
So for our cutting board specific items, we tend to use primarily American cherry, American hard maple, and black walnut. And all of these species are an appropriate density for cutting on. So it won't have too blunting of an effect on your knife, like using a plastic cutting board can dull your knife a lot faster, or a bamboo cutting board. So all completely food safe. We don't use any chemicals or anything like that in any of our products. It's a food grade mineral oil that all of these are treated with, along with a board butter that we sell as well. That's a food grade mineral oil and beeswax combination. That's actually, the beeswax is sourced from a local apiary.
Oh, wow, and I definitely need to get a board today, because our bamboo boards my husband keeps buying literally break in half all the time. I don't know what he's doing, but it sounds like I'd be better off with that.
One of the things that was really important to us was like be conscientious about our end consumers and like what is going to be best for them, not only in terms of safety, but in terms of longevity, because we feel like everything that we create, we want to be able to be not just something that's a consumable that you ultimately feel like you have to throw away because it doesn't last.
Yeah, ours lasts I think like 5 months right now.
And so like that idea of food-centric, conscientious creation kind of extended beyond just the kitchen for us. We were like, this thought process and this approach shouldn't just be limited to the kitchen. It should be able to be throughout the whole house. So like even our furniture pieces, like a console table or a coffee table, we only use food-safe products. So it may not necessarily be our board butter or our mineral oil, but we do a lot of research into the companies that we work with and the products that we use, so that if you have one of our furniture pieces in your home, you could even put an entire charcuterie board out on that table and feel comfortable and safe and know that like it's all completely okay for people to be eating off of.
Oh, cool. So I just throw the cheese and everything on the table at home and just start eating off
There
of
you
it.
go. You could do that if you wanted to.
We originally started off on Etsy because we were selling our items during COVID, and so going to markets wasn't really a possibility for us. And they became really popular items as housewarming gifts, anniversary gifts, or groomsmen gifts. And they also make great corporate gifts because the company can put their logo on it, and it gives like employees or their clients a little item they can put out on their desk for knickknacks, pens, pencils, that sort of thing. Wallet, keys.
Absolutely, and it won't go anywhere. It'll be right on the desk every day. That's really unique.
One of the things that we really love about what we work on is that we get to customize it to our customers. We can also do things like a last name, a monogram, a wedding date. So like 5-year anniversary, the material for like your gift is supposed to be wood. So we get like a lot of like 5-year anniversary gifts being this with like something from their wedding, like either the date or a favorite like phrase or joke between the couple is something that we might engrave into a tray like that.
That is cute. I didn't even think about that. So it's at 5 years. Everyone remember that. At 5 years, you have to get something made with wood. Here it is. Where would someone find you?
We have an online store, but we do a lot of these like little pop-up markets and things like that. So we're often here. Our website, mrandmrswoodshop.com. We're also on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We now have a Pinterest account. All that good jazz.
Everywhere.
Trying to be everywhere. Not YouTube yet, but
Not
maybe one
YouTube
day.
yet. Let's get there. we are here today at the Big Shanty Festival with one of the artists. His name is Walter. And I'm just curious, Walter, where did you get your start with these awesome pieces?
Actually, I started out making tables. My wife and I couldn't find a coffee table that we liked, so I made one. And after that, I kept making more, went to art festivals to sell them, and then realized I should really have smaller, more manageable sized pieces. So kind of morphed into the epoxy and the Lazy Susans and the serving trays.
So how long have you been doing this?
It's been about 6 years now. I retired from a career in commercial real estate and have done this ever since.
Okay, definitely. And like, I mean, they're very unique. Like, what would you say is one of your favorite pieces?
I really like this piece here, which is, I call it a river table. You've seen the river table coffee tables where they have the live edge wood and the epoxy running down the center. This is my take on that by kind of reversing it and having the wood show up as an island in a stream. And just this week I decided to make a yin-yang, so I've got the wood, you know, in a yin-yang pattern.
Yeah, it's very creative. It's very different and unique. So I noticed this piece over here specifically. Could you tell me more about this piece?
Well, this is made from automotive clutch plates, which are gears from a transmission. And I started using these because they're a flat, a thin piece, and I would work them into the epoxy surface where I'd have a gear with one color epoxy inside, another color outside. And then I realized I had enough of them that I could make sculptures out of them. This is sculptures I made that were freestanding for a client that wanted the look of bubbles rising from a pond. So these have epoxy in the center, and these are wood in the center. So they're just fun to play with and do different things.
I really love these Lazy Susans. What inspired you to design them and make them specifically like this?
Well, you know, it's interesting. When you do a craft or anything enough, you're always thinking about it, at least I am. Sometimes I'll wake up dreaming about a design and it'll be fresh on my mind. Because I'm working in this medium, I'm always seeing things that inspire me to try. I have different techniques, like these two, for instance, are actually the same piece initially, but this one I've developed a dispersing agent that I put on the surface that pushes the top layer of epoxy out so that allows the underneath layers, underneath colors to show through. You get two different looks from the same piece by using that technique.
Wow.
You can also see that in the two ocean ones. These actually started out as the same piece. So this one starts out the same as this, and then I put the dispersing agent on it that gives you these faceted waves instead of the foamy waves.
So Walter, I mean, everything here is just so beautiful, but what is the most unique piece that you've ever created?
It's probably a table, coffee table I make out of pianos. So I start taking it apart, and I realized that inside the piano, upright piano, there's this beautiful harp. I've made several now. I detail the harp, make a base for it, and then raise up the perimeter to the high point in the harp to put a piece of glass on it.
But this is really crazy, like, to come up with. It's so cool.
It's nice too in that their piano is usually a family heirloom. It may have been handed down by the grandmother, been in the family a long time. Nobody plays it, they don't want it as a piano, but they can turn it into something useful. And that's what I like about your art, is you take things that you usually wouldn't know what to do with and turn them into a purpose. I like to make functional art.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Walter. These coasters and Lazy Susans and everything are just so different from things that I'm typically used to even seeing at these art festivals. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows where to reach you. Where would we find your contact information?
My card is here. It's got my website, pictures of the gear, sculptures, tables, trays, and coasters.
Perfect. So you're local here, have all these amazing items, very unique, and would be a perfect piece for just any reason, any need at a home, I mean, you have something kind of for everyone here. Here are some of the patrons enjoying the festival here today.
Hey. 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 What's up?
What have we been getting into today?
I have a pickle. Balloon.
Have balloons and pickles and anything else we got?
We're gonna go in the bounce houses over there. Yeah.
Oh, the bouncy house. We have that back there. All right, well, I'm glad to hear everything's going great and we have a nice, wonderful day.
Yes.
All right. All right, it was nice meeting y'all. We are here at Big Shanty's 47th annual year, and we are here with Rudy and Raquel. Their company is called Sapphire Paradise, and this is just phenomenal products. And I'm just curious, when did you create and start this awesome line that you have?
So the concept of Sapphire Paradise started a little over 10 years ago. I started as a professional perfumer and launched my first fragrance in New York about 4 years back. And then of course, COVID hit, people weren't really buying perfumes. So I took that knowledge and I started putting it into other products.
Okay, and what was the next product? Was it the candles or?
Yes, it was a long process. My family can tell you, but we took a lot of time and put a lot of attention to detail into making candles and different lines of candles as well.
What made you realize that candles were going to be what you needed to work towards?
Well, I wanted something that would appeal to most customers, something that they would feel good about purchasing, something that they could keep in their home and they could utilize and scents have the tendency to invoke memory.
So when you're making these scents, or where are you pulling those memories from?
So for me, it's a history of my family. My family's from Barbados. I grew up in New York, is where I met my wife, high school sweethearts. And so some of those memories, one of my candles is actually inspired by that. It's called Back in the Day. Our whole unique destination line is a combination of my perfume experience and my travels to other countries in the military.
Can you give like an example of one of those?
Spanish Vineyard, for example. When I was in Spain, one of my favorite places to visit, I enjoyed the culture there, a lot of the architecture and dealing with the people there. If you've ever visited a Spanish vineyard, you would know the aroma that emanates from that place. It's amazing.
What are some of your favorite scents?
My daughter here, the oldest, she can tell you, I've run her crazy just mixing it all together. If it's not just right, I go back to the drawing board and I do it all over again because I need it to be just right. So I like them all.
Well, what is one of your favorite scents?
I've got several, but one of my favorites would have to be Peach Punch. It's very fruity and sweet, and I tend to really enjoy very fruity and sweet scents.
What is your customer's favorite scent?
Black Cashmere is probably, our customers' most favorite. They like the perfumey scent from it that they get. They like to enjoy the calmness of it, the mellowness of it. It's not too overpowering. In our spring collection, a lot of people go for the peach coffee cobbler, as well as the lemon coconut cake, but I think the peach coffee cobbler is probably the top among customers. With our unique destinations, people like the name of what happens in Vegas, but I think by far the Spanish Vineyard is the best selling. People tend to like the smell of it. They like just imagining being in a place that they probably have never visited before. With our aromatherapy, the most popular among our customers would be the white peach and magnolia. People tend to gravitate towards this more than anything else. Even though they like them all, this is probably the most popular.
Oh my goodness, yes. I am taking one of these with me here today. This is amazing. I can definitely see where your background, with the perfume and everything, comes into play because it's not like a standard scent.
In our gift set box, we have 2 9-ounce candles. And so this is one of our luxury jars. Most people don't get to see the quality of the luxury jar, so we wanted to bring it and put it in a gift box set.
Oh, this is so pretty. And we already know that the smell is amazing. where could anyone find you?
You can shop with us online at www.sapphireparadise.com. You can also find us on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok at Sapphire Paradise Candle Company or Sapphire Paradise LLC.
This is amazing.
Thank you.
Enjoyed walking around with us. A lot of local vendors here today, but whew, I'm famished. We're gonna go get something to eat.